now. Okay. So welcome to the second ever Diva Church. This is our first ever live stream. And I want to present myself here for a moment. So just want to invite you to grab a drink, grab a journal, get ready for this journey of integration, of bringing our awareness home to ourselves, to deepen in connection with the layers and the subtleties. Give me just a moment here. I want to bring up my notes so I can turn this mess into mastery with a little bit of support. Make sure I don't spiral out. Okay, one moment. Give me a second. Ari. No, the other ones. The yeah. In Notion? Okay. One second. Yeah. Feeling the fear? Feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Alright, this is all part of the plan for today. My intention is to show up with the imperfection of it all. You got it? Yeah. You can close the door. Thank you. So, all right, so I got my 2 viewers. I love you so much. Thank you for your patience, your devotion. I'm having some technical difficulties here. Hold on. All right, so my name is Rachel, aka the Karma Diva, and the Diva Church is an offering and a very exciting space to basically call in that divine feminine spirit and allow it to be remembered because she lives through all of us, and to give her a place of worship, of honor within our world. Um, so basically, the divine feminine is all about sacred embodiment, which means honoring our holy wholesomeness, the full aliveness of everything that is present within us and without us in this human experience. So I like to take Mary Magdalene as one example of the divine feminine Christ consciousness embodied, and what her gospel brought to us was basically this knowing, this honoring of inner authority above external validation, the sacredness of every emotion and everything we feel as a doorway to wholeness, that basically everything we can experience and go through in our human life is a teacher and has sacred information for us as to who we are and how we can embody our authenticity, which is the most sacred thing we can do in this world. I believe that learning to cultivate the safety to live from our authenticity is the holiest work, because our essence, how we bring our essence through into this world, that's our soul, right? Like, We are spirit embodied, and we kind of, in our daily life, we have to fit into the molds of society, and it takes us sometimes really far from the truth of who we are. So the divine feminine, the path of the divine feminine, is actually about that inner union with self, which means merging our consciousness, our awareness, with the inner material of our emotions, our sensations, our body, the wisdom of our intelligence. So learning to cultivate that curiosity and compassion for everything that we go through, including our fears, including our resistances, including our guilt and our shame, the things that we hate to feel and will do anything to avoid, and yet somehow we can't avoid it because it's here for us to meet and work with on the path. That is holy material for our becoming, for our unfurling, for bringing that authentic essence and soul expression through. So the Diva Church is a monthly offering to remember the sacredness of everything we feel. And my intention is to give a safe space for us to really look within, connect a little bit deeper to these uncomfortable parts, to the subtleties, the subtle layers, and give it that presence, so that it's not something that we resist or avoid and fragment from, but to bring it up and hold it with this compassionate witnessing, so it can be integrated as wisdom and as the fuel that carries us forward. So I'm offering myself in this space as like a living example, because I'm on this path of inner union, of sacred embodiment, and I'm working with the authenticity of my emotions to move myself forward towards my desires, right? It's like, why the Karma Diva? Because I'm transforming my karma, my fears, my limitations into dharma, into my purpose, into liberation, into the fuel for living my dreams awake. And what I mean by my dreams is not like some destination or fantasy. It's not some place to arrive to. When I say living the dream awake, I mean actually cultivating the inner safety to show up authentically from my soul's expression, and therefore shape my reality in such a way that it meets me in authenticity, that I can cultivate more and more joy and liberation to live as my true self and be received and mirrored back in that way by my environment. So really living the dream awake is a lifestyle, and it's about honoring our fears and our limitations as the material for self-actualization. So what is the Diva Church? It's part sermon and part somatic ceremony. First, I'm presencing these themes of the divine feminine remembrance and how we can harness these somatic experiences as wisdom and as higher intelligence to align with our soul's true path, our true path of dharma, of destiny. And I truly believe that every single one of us that chooses this holy work to live true to ourselves, to actualize ourselves, that's the healing the world needs, because the only way we can actually empower others is by first empowering ourselves. The only way we can help liberate others from suffering is actually by liberating ourselves from suffering. So it's a really sacred work, and it is so challenging because of all of the programs and expectations, societal conditioning, family expectations, the need to fit in, to belong, the need for approval. All of these things kind of can hold us back from really living true to our essence and to our desires. So today's theme is feel the fear and do it anyway. And I want to really speak to the nuance here, because it's not about bypassing our fears and just doing the thing. Our fears actually hold really sacred information for us. And if we want to live the dream awake in a way that is integrated between our mind, body, spirit, like this true soul alignment, authenticity. It's about learning to be present with the fears and to integrate with them. So we're kind of like expanding our consciousness and our capacity in such a way that we can hold these fears and hug them while we tap into the true desire beneath the fears and move forward anyway with the fears in hand. Because when the fears stay in the shadow, when they stay fragmented and we're not actually in touch with them, if we're not actually holding them and bringing them with us, they will sabotage the fuck out of our dreams over and over and over again. Right? Tell me if you have that experience. Feel free to write in the chat where you tend to self-sabotage or distract yourself from what you truly desire. And I'll use myself as an example here. But first of all, like welcome to share in the chat if you feel called and safe to do so. So the way that I've been sabotaging my true desires is for the need to be accepted and approved of. So yeah, I've been really sitting with these fears for the last few weeks. I went into a sort of, I call it like a ego death spiral, where I'm just pulled in to meet my shadows and my unmet needs. And I give them, it's kind of a choice and kind of a need to just surrender to it, because I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. So it's a very like pulling in to meet the underworld. But I went through this few weeks portal of like dying, meaning like surrendering over my attachments and my ego's need to feel belonging and feel loved, and went through this process of meeting all of the guilt and the shame and the fear of, well, what if I'm not loved? When I embraced these needs, and then I kind of came into this space of inner peace and acceptance over these last few days. And it's not like the fears really went away. I just feel like they're not holding me as much as before. Like I can still feel them, but they're intact. They're a little bit lighter. I feel like my power is starting to come back. I have the energy and a renewed confidence, a renewed resource and capacity to move forwards towards what I really want, which is to be seen in my authenticity, to expand my essence into this world with my authentic truth. But I've been hiding because I'm afraid if I'm in my true power and true expression, people won't love me. I won't be liked. And that's the fear of death, to be honest, because, you know, we are tribal creatures, and somehow in some level of our being, we are interdependent, and we need that love and acceptance in order to survive. But it's like this is the work of like self-mastery and self-actualization, is to really observe where the fears kind of take over the whole system, and to work with them in such a way that, okay, I see that you're afraid. I see this fear is legit, but is it really true? Is it actually like safe for me to lean into my true desires anyway? So that's the nuance of feel the fear and do it anyway. And then I'm bringing here very fresh, like that on the spiral of self-actualization, that this is what I experience, and you can check with yourself if it feels true for you as well. Every time we're about to up level and reach a new level in our reality of like greater expression, more expansion, less fear, a little bit more liberated, like the places where maybe we are hiding our true self, or we're not saying the thing that we really want. We're not really acting true to ourselves because we're afraid. So like that's part of this, right? So like I went down into the fear spiral, and now I'm coming out in another round of the spiral. But I'm not like, okay, that's it, I met my fears and now I'm free. Like, I've been there enough times to realize it's not how it works, in that I'm going to be meeting my fears over and over again. Every time I'm meeting a new level of expansion, a new level of visibility, I'm going to have to go in and hug these fears and check in, see what they need, and bring them with me. So we're on the spiral of self-actualization over here. Let me know if you are too. It's messy, it's dynamic, it's moody, it's all of it. It's glorious, but not all the time. So I think the Diva Church is like a space to honor all sides of this process as the integration of our humanity and our authentic selves. So where I've been really holding myself back is like, okay, I'm the Karma Diva and I want to help people, live towards their infinite potential, but I'm not doing it yet. So how can I help people? There's this like self-sabotaging belief that I'm not ready and I'm not capable, and I'm leaning into my own healing and showing up in service right now by saying, you know what? I am doing the work and I am ready to bring this through. And that's medicine for me, and that's medicine for, as an offering of medicine for whoever wants to receive this transmission. I'm sharing my authenticity and my struggle as breaking free from this perfectionist belief system in my head that keeps me actually like stuck and unhappy because I never feel good enough. But you know what? I'm never going to be good enough, and I'm already good enough. And so that's the integration I'm working with now and bringing this through here for you. So thank you so much for being here. That's like the sermon for today. And let's dive in a little bit further into some somatics. So I want to reiterate that our fears are sacred material. They are messengers and they are not blocks. As much as they feel like, I don't know, death sometimes and like unworthiness, and we believe in them as if they're true, right? The wisdom of the integration of like acknowledging we're on this spiral of self-actualization. The fears are going to come up. They're a part of it again and again. But can we expand our capacity to hold our mess and our mastery at the same time? So we don't just have to believe the fears every time we see them. Every time we're experiencing fear, we don't have to suddenly like believe that's our whole identity. Our whole identity doesn't have to become this worthlessness and this struggle. We can actually hold the fear and give it this loving presence that it requires and desires, just like a child, right? Can we become the loving parent for our own inner needs? Give it the place, witness it, hold its hand, give it a hug and say, I see you, honey. I understand why you're afraid, or even ask, what are you really afraid of? Have this dialogue, this check-in, and just breathe to it. Just give it the witnessing without fighting it. Okay, it's here. Let me embrace this now. I could just take a deep breath to that. And then remember the true desire that exists simultaneously as the fear. Because the fear is trying to protect us from something. The fear is our karma that we've taken on either in this lifetime or past lifetimes. Or maybe it's primal. Whatever it is, it's like it has its place for a reason. And we can embrace it in a way that it doesn't take over the whole system. Or if it does, it just does for a few days. So in this like last week or a few weeks that I was really in my fears and my shadows, basically I was giving the fears permission to just kind of take over. Instead of like, I couldn't suppress them or pretend like they're not there anymore. Here they are, and in the beginning I'm fighting them and I'm resisting, and that's the most painful part of the process, I must say, when I'm fighting with the fears. And then I slowly bring in some acceptance, and then I just let them exist for a few days. I give them space. I kind of do become the fear in some way. But with the higher knowing, with the higher witnessing, this is just a phase of the process, and I can trust that they're gonna alchemize and move through. And I'm sitting with this curious eye of like, what are you here to show me? What are you here to teach me? And how can I be of service to you so you can be in service to me? Like, if you create this relationship of reciprocity, so it's no longer a block, it integrates and then shifts. And as soon as I'm able to reach that acceptance, there's peace. I find this inner peace, but it's a process of spiraling through the fears and the shame and the guilt before I reach that point. So I think I gave you enough personal example. Hello, DJ Fuzzy Logic, you made it. Oh, thanks so much for being here. I want to give like a little bit more, maybe, authenticity to this fear process I'm sharing with you. So what I was letting go of in these last few weeks was the need for approval. Like, I'm not safe to move forward on my desires if I'm gonna piss people off. So that was a block for me. It's been a block for me for years, honestly, and it might continue. But like at this point in the spiral, we're shifting, and I'm showing up here because of these, with this like liberated expression, because of these last few weeks that I was meeting the fears, letting go of the need for approval, feeling the guilt and shame around disappointing people and being a bad person, whatever stories came up for me, giving it its place, letting it move through. And accessing, like, okay, with this fear here, what's the desire? The desire is still there. The desire to show up is actually stronger than the fear. And here we are, doing it anyway. So let me know if this is like, if you can relate to this process somewhere in your life at the moment. If you are, notice any places that you are holding yourself back from your true desires, from your authentic expression. You can just breathe into that for a moment, do a little check-in with yourself. We are making the unconscious conscious over and over again. This is the spiral life. Because once the fears are seen, they loosen their grip, and then they can move with us and not against us. They become the fuel for our authentic action. So a question that came up for me really strong is the guilt and shame piece. Like, is it selfish to put myself first? What does it say about me if I follow my desires? I'm a selfish person. I was really meeting this selfish judgment. And honestly, I had to meet it because it's within me, but I can recognize it now that this guilt is an old conditioning. Like, where does it come from? It comes from my parents. Where did they get it from? Probably their parents, right? So it's like, I had so much resistance, like I'm selfish and I feel so guilty. But once I met it and hold it and was able to ask where it's coming from, I could find the compassion for it, because it's actually not mine. And it's actually just the sickness of this world, right? That I believe on my path of self-actualization and liberation, I'm here to liberate these fears for myself and then be an embodied example for others. So I'm learning to honor my heart's truth and trust in my goodness, even if other people think I'm selfish. Because I do this integration, I check in with my fears. Where am I coming from? What are my intentions? Am I selfish? Sure, sometimes, but aren't we all like we need to be? So that's a little integration piece. Alchemizing these fears into Dharma. Because only by putting myself first can I authentically show up for others. And I'm in this process of unhooking from codependence, and choosing sovereignty over the need for validation, because that anchors me into a deeper love. And it's like breaking all of my belief systems around what love is supposed to be and how I need it from others. But look at me now, like I look great, right? More of this liberation is moving through my system. And I'm so grateful I'm able to be here and share this medicine with you now. I'm sure it was really ugly these last few weeks. It's messy and it's sacred. And I want to invite all of us to keep being willing to meet these fears and cultivate that higher mind of compassion and curiosity, to hold ourselves in that sacred spiral. And remember, when we need to go down into the shadows, actually we're digging for gold. We're mining for that gold that's going to move us closer to our true desires. And both of them can coexist. I think this is sometimes that inner conflict that happens. Like, if I'm afraid and I'm not moving forward, then I'm a loser, then I'm unworthy, then I'm never going to make it. And we believe those stories. It is just one voice that needs its place. And remembering that the true desires of what I really want are sacred information. And together, that's the wholeness of the human experience. So we don't have to cancel the true desires just because all of these voices of doubt and fear show up, right? So an invitation into this spiral of awakening. And I want to invite us to tap into we're going to do a little bit of journaling now, if you're available for that. Let me know in the chat if you want to do these journal prompts right now. Otherwise, I can leave them in the comments and you can do them on your own time. The other option is a guided meditation. A ritual in meeting the fear and holding the desire at the same time as this process of embodying our holy wholesomeness and remembering our worthiness even when those fears are taking over. So I'm not hearing from you guys. I'm thinking to do, yeah, I also feel the ritual. Okay, cool. So there was a lot of information there. Okay, so I want to invite us, if we feel, first of all, to find a comfortable seated position. And if you feel safe and comfortable to do so, you're welcome to close your eyes. You can also lie down. And start taking some deep breaths in through the nose. Letting our lungs fill up with air. Even breathing in a little extra up to the top of the ribs and the collarbone. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Letting the jaw kind of soften and the hips feel heavy. Just rooting our awareness down into the body. You can shake a little, do some head rolls if you need. Let your body guide you into this state of embodied presence. And continuing to breathe a little deeply. With a little more intention and awareness than we might be used to. And feeling the body relax with each exhale. Grounding into the support of the earth beneath us. Finding some stillness of the mind. Connection with the heart space and the belly. And I want to invite us now to ask ourselves if there's a fear that's been present for us lately. Like maybe it's a fear of being seen, fear of failure. Maybe there's been some contraction or some stickiness. some anxiety or overwhelm, these shameful voices, judgment. Just check in with yourself. What has been present for you lately? And just acknowledging this fear without judgment. Just being curious enough to give it some presence here and now. Breathing to it and noticing where this fear resides in the body. What kind of somatic sensation does it come with? And inviting you to place a hand on that area, offering some warmth and some compassion. Breathing, allowing it to soften. I want you to just say to yourself, I see you. I hear you. You're welcome here. And what is your message for me? What do you have to say? What do you need? Extending some loving presence and curiosity. And breathing into this space. Noticing if there's any shift in the body when we bring in this compassionate curiosity. And now I want to ask, what is this fear maybe protecting you from? Try to understand the motivation beyond the sensation. There's wisdom there for us. And now you can ask yourself, what is the desire beneath this fear? What is the need or the desire? Is it a need for safety? Is it a desire for expansion, liberation, expression? Listen to this answer. And you can visualize this desire as a light, like a small flame. So now we're simultaneously holding this fear and this need, as well as the desire, this spark of creation. And just see what it feels like to give space and presence to both of these sensations at the same time. Does it feel possible? Or is there some conflict there? Just observe with curiosity, or just witnessing, getting to know our spiral a little bit better where we are in this moment, without judgment, without shame. And now I want to invite us to let this flame, this desire, expand a little bit brighter with each breath. Notice where it is for you. Maybe it's in the sacral chakra. Maybe the mind's eye. It's growing brighter with each breath, and it's slowly filling your entire being with this warmth and possibility, and it's hugging the fear. It's hugging the contraction. And just invite this light and this spark to spiral through your being, washing you with this warmth. You can also imagine the fears and the desires are spiraling together. It's like this dance of light and shadow, just moving through your vessel without judgment, without story, just sensation and energy. Let's take a few more breaths, allowing these two to coexist and expand, and see where they meet each other. Allowing this empowerment and light to hug the fears and the shadows, cultivating this sense of wholeness and possibility that both can coexist at once. And we can give space and presence to each in their own timing, and it doesn't cancel out the other. So taking a few deep breaths, taking your time. Maybe you can give a small blessing, prayer of gratitude. You can channel your own mantra of wholeness, acceptance, finding peace within this dual experience. And when you're ready, you can come back to the space, gently open your eyes, return to the present moment, but take your time, take these feelings with you, take whatever goal you mind for. And when you're ready, I would love to invite you to write down, either in the chat or in your own private journal, what you experienced and what golden nuggets of wisdom might have surfaced for you. Any points of integration, of either higher wisdom or deeper compassion. Just like, taking a moment to presence that for yourself and for us. And remember that anything that is shared in the chat is medicine for us all. So thank you for your bravery. If you wish to share with us, we all can receive from this wisdom. And I'll share just a little invocation. Ariel, thank you for sharing. Found a deep need for my own authentic expression. Amazing. Did you meet the fears and what they need? I'm gonna share some journal prompts in the chat so that if you want to go deeper into this conversation, you can. For anyone that is tuning in, not live, you're welcome to process and integrate these journal prompts on your own. And I will just kind of close us off with a little invocation. So you're welcome to repeat after me if you like. I welcome all parts of myself in the here and now. I call in my fear, my desire, my inner truth, my divinity. All of me is sacred, and all of me I am safe to feel. By embracing my holy wholesomeness, I not only liberate myself, but I liberate all beings with my example. And the holy diva in me honors the holy diva in you. I empower all of us to listen to our true desires and give place to the fears equally as sacred information along the spiral of our sacred self-actualization, the becoming of our authentic essence, and trusting the gifts we carry is what we have to share with this world. And it's holy, holy work to meet those fears and integrate them as a way of liberating ourselves from them. So I want to empower all of us to keep feeling the fears and doing it anyway. And thanks to the spirit of Beyonce for giving us a little. I'm gonna tune us out with a little dance music break. Thank you so much for coming, for bringing your sacred selves here today. Next time.